Good afternoon, Ms. Rosette Natumanya, the Town Clerk, Nakawa Division. My name is Musa Kasozi. I work with Youth After School Initiative, Uganda Chapter, a non-government organization, non-partisan that works across the country in partnership with Uganda Youth Network and with funding from Action Aid. We've been conducting budget consultation meetings for the youth in Kampala City, and where Nakawa is part, is a division in the Kampala Capital City. Ms. Rosette Natumanya, I would like to have a few inquiries or a conversation around the 2020-2021 budget in regards to youth priorities, to see how is it responding to youth needs or to youth proposals or interests in Kampala Capital City.
Yes, please.
This year's budget, it reads 14,29,740,357, which is quite a good sum of money for the division. How much is allocated to education out of the 14 billion that I've seen the budget in the budget meeting by the council?
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for the initiatives you are doing for our division and the youth in our division. Yeah, as you've rightly put it, 14 billion is what we have for this financial year. And out of that, 2,714,706 is the budget that is allocated to education services.
Thank you so much. It's quite a good proportion. Out of the 2.7 billion, how much goes to UPE and on what? And then USE, but also does the 2.7 billion touch anything in regard to higher education? Because we had some of the youth at university, they also had their budget priorities, increasing higher education funding, including research. Does the 2.7 billion touch anything to do with higher education?
Yeah, maybe one of the things you need to appreciate about KCCA is that there are activities which are budgeted for at the division level, which are devolved or centralized.
True.
And yet there are activities which are still centralized at our head office at City Hall.
True.
So some of those activities you are talking about, like research and others, some of them are not with us as divisions. So this figure of 2.7, which is decentralized the division and which we are budgeting for, much of it is actually the conditional grant. For example, 127.5 million is UPE transfers, which is the capitation grant given to the UPE schools. Then 329 million is also the capitation grant for USE schools. Then 879 million is transferred to health training institutions, because we have institutions that are training healthy workers. Their budget also comes under education. Then we have operations, which are like sensitization meetings, maybe supervision by the district education officer and the district the division inspectors. That is 10 million. Then there is 1 billion that is earmarked for purchase of land for one of our schools, which is Kalenaviri Primary School.
Oh, that's very good. That must be a very lucky school. That's a lot of money that you are going to invest in that school. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, this school sits on land which was a private land, but later the owner wanted to be compensated and paid off. So we've been paying for that land so that the school owns it.
Thank you. Anything to do with higher education?
The higher education, we have universal secondary education schools. I think that is part of higher education. That's what we have here. The rest, tertiary institutions and these other schools beyond secondary, they are not catered for. They are not budgeted for at the division.
Okay, I've also seen you've touched public health and environment. That's curative services. What budget exactly did you put on public health and environment?
Public health, here we separate them because we have public health, the curative services, and we also have environment. So under curative services, there is 1.2 billion, and under environment, we have 1.9 billion.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. What's anything that you can probably hint on which that money probably will do? For example, we noted in the budget meeting that part of it will support in recruitment of staff and probably to support staff salaries and even allowances. Yes. Apart from that, is there anything that specifically one or two you intend to spend on in the public health? Still in line, is there any of these that those you intend to spend on that will touch youth-friendly services? For example, from the budget consultations that we conducted, youth cited that there was a need to improve health services, youth-friendly corners, services like counseling services were still down, and then the youth wanted them to be uplifted. Is there any, does any of these monies touch counseling services or anything related to youth-friendly services?
Incidentally, most of this money is conditional grant, which in most cases covers wages, then cost of drugs, health center maintenance in terms of electricity and power, cleaning services and protective wear for the workers. Most of it goes to that. But there is this component where we give, where there is support to NGOs or private hospitals. And in most cases, those private hospitals have services for youth. So the breakdown is not here, but there is 42 million earmarked to support private, not really private hospitals, actually NGO hospitals, because here we don't fund like personal hospitals. These are NGO hospitals, and some of them deal with the youth. But we have the budget and agenda which caters for the youth, but specifically for health, they benefit under this which is given to NGO hospitals.
Thank you so much. A number of your youth in Nakawa Division, they were also asked for improvement in agriculture, and they specifically were touching some few items, including agricultural mechanization, but also market linkages, support with market linkages. I was trying to wonder, do the youth in Nakawa have gardens? And I also noticed you had a budget for agriculture. There were a lot of conversations around NADS. Exactly, when you support agriculture in Nakawa, what do you support? Where are the gardens that probably you support for youth? What kind of agriculture do our people in Nakawa engage in that would require such support in terms of mechanization and agricultural market linkages?
Yeah, most of those activities they are under government programs. So far we have different government programs. One of them is Youth Livelihood Program, which is purely and specifically for the youth. And under that program, some youth are involved in agriculture. They are involved in poultry, they are involved in piggery, they are involved in mushroom farming, they are involved in tomato growing under the Youth Livelihood Program. Then we have other programs like NADS. NADS is not specifically for youth, it is for farmers, but they are youth who are farmers. Backyard farming and any other form of farming. Actually, youth have also benefited more from NADS compared to other categories. Because under that, there is farming also, then there is value addition, then there is agro-processing, and many youth have access to machines like juice blenders. They have access to machines like popcorn machines, chips machines. Most of them have been accessed by the youth under that program. There is also the community demand-driven grant, which is a grant, also not specific for the youth, but some youth have also benefited from it. Then there are other programs we have carried out with our partners. Like recently, there is a program that is starting in KCCA called the Girl Child Empowerment, which targets children in school.
Oh, that's very good.
And also those who have dropped out. The target group are P6 girls who will be supported under peer mentoring, and they should be followed to ensure that they complete school. And then there are others in that age group who should be around P6, but they dropped out of school. So they are also helped with the mentoring and counseling, so that much as they are not in school, they can survive outside school by avoiding early pregnancies and carrying out self-help projects. So much as the budget may not talk a lot about the youth, but there are so many activities where the youth are benefiting.
Any recommendations to the Kampala Capital City Authority, but also to the central government in regards to the 2020-2021 national budget?
Yeah, my appeal to government is that Kampala is big. Kampala needs a lot of structure, and I think it should be given special consideration when it comes to the budget, because from the current budget to the budget for 2021, there is a decrease in allocations for Kampala. Yet the cost of living has increased, the cost of providing services has increased. The ideal would have been that we should have gotten a big allocation this coming financial year compared to this financial year. But it so happened that the allocation for 2021 is less compared to the allocation for 1920. So as some of us were in the middle of service delivery, we shall meet challenges. Those people's demands are increasing, yet the budget is shrinking, which is a challenge to the city authority.
Thank you so much, Rosette, for this very good interaction, but also thank you for the presentation that you made in regard to the budget. I remain yours, Musa Kasozi, Youth After School Initiative, Uganda Chapter.
Thank you.